Howdy, everybody. Back for another episode of A Night at the Movies with Mike. So I just got out of seeing The Exorcist, The Believer, or The Exorcist Believer, or whatever. It is David Gordon Green's new movie with Blumhouse as the producer and the production company, or the distributor, whatever they are. I guess I read somewhere, I guess, that they're like a distributor. Anyway, needless to say, I went and saw this. It was the last showing of the night. The night before, I guess, it gets it released tomorrow. And I don't know, I just couldn't sleep and just thought that I would come out and see a movie. And I almost went and saw a different movie earlier, but I'll just go see that one tomorrow probably, and I'll have some more content for the channel. Anyway, David Gordon Green and Danny McBride were like come back to give us another, like basically take another chance on a beloved franchise. They're well known for, basically doing the new Halloween movies, with Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends, which came out last year. So they did that trilogy together to basically retcon to basically be the new canon of the Halloween movies. And I guess they're basically doing another legacy film franchise with, I guess, The Exorcist. I saw somewhere, I guess, that they're supposed to be doing basically a trilogy with The Exorcist now. So anyway, I'll be honest with you. I mean, this movie, I was not scared at all. I mean, I felt like the pacing was off. Then again, I really wasn't a fan of the David Gordon Green Halloween movies all that much, to be honest with you. I mean, I liked one out of the three of them, and the first one, I felt like it was just the first Halloween movie. I felt like it was dragging on and the pacing was off, and the second one, I didn't care for it at all, and the third one, I mean, I'm in the minority in saying, I actually enjoyed that one out of the three Halloween movies that David Gordon Green and Danny McBride came out with, because I don't know, I thought it was cool that they did they had a different take on it, and a lot of people, don't like that movie, but that's my opinion. I thought it was pretty good, pretty well done. But I mean, as for this, I think William Friedkin is rolling over in his grave. I think this is probably the movie that killed him, to be honest with you. If you don't know already, William Friedkin, the original director of The Exorcist that came out in 1973, 50 years ago. This year, he just passed away about maybe 6 to 7 weeks ago. So anyway, that's what this legacy is. It's basically, this movie comes out on the basically before the guy even went went cold, pretty much. But anyway, I felt like this movie wasn't really scary at all. I was pretty, there was really no tension. I did not enjoy this movie all that much. I would not recommend, I would not buy this movie and put it on my shelf for any reason. I mean, I was like, what you, I mean, the trailers that make it seem like it's going to be a lot scarier. And again, just like what a lot of people, like what a lot of companies do. I mean, they basically gave away like everything in the trailers. So if you've seen the trailers, you've pretty much seen the gist of the movie. Those are pretty much like the only scary. Those are like the only scary parts. Everything else is just there. And none of the characters I really cared about. I thought they were pretty disposable. I mean, we don't even really get to know the two girls before they basically become possessed, and I can say that because without spoilers, because everything was in the trailer, so I'm not really giving anything away. If you're watching this review, you pretty much probably have seen the trailers. You know that two girls get possessed, and like they're sharing a heartbeat and the whole 9 yards. So I guess that's the differences between this and the original Exorcist. Instead of one girl being possessed, it's two. It's sort of like, the whole Scream 6 thing where, hey, yeah, instead of two killers, it's three. Wow. That's so mind-blowing. Whoa. There was little to no music to you know how great the theme for the Exorcist, the original Exorcist is, and how it's frightening, and even in other great classic horror movies like Jaws, where John Williams plays that score that builds up the tension in the room. Again, in this, there's none of it. I mean, you hear the score when the end credits roll. That's it. Other than that, you hear there's nothing, and it's just so when that's going on, it's just it just takes away from the experience, in my opinion. And so this movie, I was really it's hard to be disappointed. Quite frankly, I think they should stop doing Exorcist movies altogether. I mean, we had the one good one from William Friedkin's version from 1973, and other than that, I can't really think of another one that's come out that was a really good classic Exorcist movie. I know that they've tried over and over and over. I know they did the Exorcism of Emily Rose I forget when that one came out. But again, I went and saw that one with a friend, and I wasn't a big fan of that one. I didn't think it was all that good. And so I'm not a big fan of exorcism movies to begin with. I mean, I like paranormal type movies, but it's just that this just was not. This didn't live up to I don't think fans of the original Exorcist are going to be too thrilled with this one. I mean, they bring back some characters to basically give you the feel of like a nostalgic factor, but other than that, there's nothing. I mean, there's no character development between any of the characters. I mean, you really don't know much about. You really don't know much about the characters in here, and along the lines of throughout the film, you learn. When you get to the end of it, you basically know the same amount about them at the end as you do at the beginning, except for maybe one thing, one or two different things. But other than that, I thought the movie was pretty mid. On a grading scale, I'd give it an average rating. I mean, I know on IMDb when I looked at it earlier, that people people have seen the movie. We're giving it like a 5.2 out of 10. I would pretty much, I think they're pretty much, right, like right along the lines with that. I wouldn't give it like a 7, which is pretty much like what you would give like a good movie on there. I mean, I would definitely give it like basically like a C- grade. I just don't know. I just don't think this was all that great of a movie. I don't think we needed this movie. It wasn't something that should have been made. I know that basically Blumhouse, they basically they put little to no effort into their movies. They give you like a little bit of, they give the creators a little bit of a budget and say, here, go buck wild with it, with this big name, and we want to count, like we basically want to count the money come in, like to quote 50 Cent from In the Club, like basically watch the money pile in type thing off these franchises. So that's just what I'm getting out of this. If they're going to make another 2 movies like this, I mean, I didn't even know David Gordon Green did this movie until I was just like basically looking it up earlier. I mean, this movie's like an hour and 50-minute runtime, I believe. And I mean, there should be probably like 15 minutes shaved off this film. It just feels a lot. It just doesn't feel right. The pacing's off, and it just feels a little bloated at times, and it feels like it doesn't know where it wants to go. It just doesn't feel like it really knows where it wants to go. And David Gordon Green, I don't think, is the right person to do one of these movies. I just don't. I mean, we're talking about the guy that did, I have no idea, like, why all of a sudden, like, I mean, he went from making movies like, Pineapple Express 15 years ago to now, the last 5 years, he's done 4 horror movies. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's sort of like when after Jordan Peele did his Get Out, and then he got really big with that, then all of a sudden, like, all these comedy guys want to throw their hat in the ring to do horror. Like, Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, like, after that, they did they did the Halloween movie, and then, Chris Rock threw his hat in the ring with Spiral, like 2 or 3 years ago, which I didn't care for at all. So anyway, if you're going to see something this weekend, I mean, I'm going to go see The Creator soon. I saw there's like a new horror movie, that's like a Spanish horror movie that came out that's like an hour and 45 minutes. That's the movie I was going to go see earlier, and I just didn't feel like at the time. Anyway, I'm sorry for, the lack of updates lately. I know I did one earlier on my way here. I've just had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now. Like, my grandmother had a stroke like about 6 weeks ago. She hasn't been doing too well, and like my dad needs a couple new heart valve, at least one heart valve. And we've been going through stuff like that right now with him, and so I've just been, busy with life, and so I'm trying to get out here to do these reviews and go into the movies, but I mean, to be honest with you, I just really haven't been feeling it lately. I've been feeling kind of, in the dumps. So anyway, if you've seen this movie, or if you're a big fan of the original Exorcist, leave me a comment below, let me know. I like doing these reviews with you, If you know of anybody that's, here's my shameless plug, since I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I don't get monetized for these reviews. If you know of anybody that's in the market for buying or selling real estate in the state of Maryland or Pennsylvania, I'll leave my information in the description below, and maybe I can help them find a house or sell their home. Anyway, so I would give this movie pretty much like a C. It wasn't as bad as Expendables, but again, I don't see why this movie was really necessary. Anyway, hope you have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.